Good morning, it's Dan and Lee and the Sunday class. As we go through the life of Christ in stereo. Well, good morning, Miss Lee. Aren't you going to talk back?
I can't hear myself think.
That's okay. You can yell over the crowd. We have such a big crowd out there. Isn't it amazing how we have our studio set up and we have this mass of people listening? Electronically.
Yes, electronically.
You
we don't
wanna...
think about that, or someone does not able to see it. That's very funny.
I need to use the laugh one more. Those buttons are so cool. You know, sometimes we have thunderstorms. Do we have thunderstorms today, Miss Lee?
When we have thunderstorms, though, we can't do the show because it knocks out our internet. You don't want that today.
So today we don't have thunderstorms. Sometimes we just have mystery. Actually, Lee's always a mystery. I never know quite what she's doing.
Well, I can tell you what. Not only am I going to be blind soon, but I'm going to be deaf too with this stuff being so loud in my ears.
Oh, we have a different crowd. It's changed. Isn't it amazing? They just bring one crowd in, another crowd.
Can we move on?
It's awesome.
So, topic of the day, please.
We're just so funny. Oh, well, anyway, I guess we're here for the Life of Christ Hysteria, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't be goofy. You know, it's fun to play with this electronics sometimes, though.
The Lord does want us to enjoy our life.
That's right. We have joy in
it's
what
not
we do.
all.
See, this is a really important thing. I had an interesting talk with one of my friends on Facebook recently, who was kind of moping, and she got mad at me because I told her she was whining, but she was, and she was kind of moping, and she's a good person and really one of the outstanding Christian, but she was kind of moping because she use the single mom card, kind of like feminists use the feminine card and black people use the black card, to make you feel sorry for them. And it was all about getting to go on vacations. Other people don't realize I can't go on vacations like normal people. Well, wait a minute. That's a form of covetousness. It really, because so what? Where in the Bible does it promise a vacation? It says take a rest, day of rest.
That means you can sleep in your bed or
whatever. And you should schedule in kind of celebrations, but it doesn't mean you don't tend the crops during that celebration. If something's growing, or Jesus said, if your sheep falls into the well,
go get it out.
You go get it out. And that's the whole point of a parent really doesn't get a vacation. Because we are parents all the time. And that's why it's kind of nice when the kids grow up, because it's a little bit more opportunity to vacate, or be on vacation. I guess it's not vacate. Vacate the kids, but but here's what Lee and I have discovered. The way to solve this problem is what you do is you simply put in those things into your regular schedule. Let me finish this, and then your story will be great.
Perfect.
And as you like we used to, I'd go on business trips, and I'd be gone all the time, and it was not good. So I started working on how to take the kids and Lee with me. And I remember one of the greatest times, we went to California speaking, and we stopped at the Grand Canyon. We went to visit our relatives. We did it was almost a 2-week thing. And most of that time I was speaking at some time during that period. Mm-hmm. So we plugged it in to our work. And that, I know, well, you travel. Well, yeah. And I planned my life that way, okay? Because I made a choice. I wanted to do that. if you make a choice you're going to work in an office, that's going to be difficult. But you have other options. You probably have a more accumulated wealth that you can take cheap trips on airplanes. But don't leave your kids at home. Okay. What?
Now, the story I was going to tell is, I thought this is just a great example of this. A family that we know is celebrating their anniversary. They have 4 children, and, you know, they're celebrating their 11th year anniversary. Mm-hmm. And so, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to take the kids, they're going to go stay in a motel, and they're going to go to museums and stuff to celebrate their anniversary.
Okay, now why is that what we're talking about?
Well, because they don't think they have to separate from their kids to celebrate something that is part of their kids are part of the family.
They have 4 kids and heading for 5, so they're not having problems
dealing with their children, living with the children.
Getting together with children around. Somehow they're doing this.
Being romantically
Yes, there you go.
involved.
That's the word I'm looking for. They're
involved.
Figured this out.
They figured it out.
See, and you know, in history, people figure this out.
They love their family as a whole, and they're celebrating their anniversary together.
So they're frugal and fruitful.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting, just on my game that I play, I play it because it's so much like reality. Somebody wanted walkers. That was the biggest thing you could donate to them. And I said, what do you want these for? He's a brand new guy. And he said, so I can go out and do things, you know, and get loot, you know, which is part of what you do. You go out and get loot. And I said, well, you know what you need to do? You need to learn to be more frugal and fruitful, because walkers are very expensive and you don't end up with any loot, except you want me to pay for you to go do that.
Yeah,
see, and that's how people want. They want you to pay.
Right.
That is the new modern way of thinking. Well, people need help. You need to pay for them. Mm-hmm. See, that's not giving. No. That's stealing.
Yeah.
Now, giving is where you actually give. And it was so much, the socialism even works into this game.
It always does, doesn't it? Yeah. He tells me a lot about this game.
Yeah, that's why I do it, because I can study culture.
But I think the thing is, you don't, you know, it's nice to take a vacation when you can. Like, and I remember one anniversary that we celebrated. We were out in California with our children, and Dan's brother and wife said, well, we're going to take the kids with us for the weekend. You guys go off and do something. And so we got to go to the beach for, you know,
we did it. It happens.
A couple days and a night, and that was really
wonderful.
Nice.
We actually, I remember that. We had a hotel that we got really for nothing.
Yeah, right on the ocean.
Right on the ocean.
We left the windows open all night.
Slept
so we could
and looked out there at the moon and the stars. That was such a nice, wonderful evening.
So, you know, you can do both of these things, but you don't have to go on a vacation by yourself to make it a vacation.
You know, the Lord supplies your needs. And see, that's where what you have to do is seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all this other stuff will be added to you. Mm-hmm. And the key is you take care of your responsibilities first. And sometimes you get tired, and you may need to pray, Lord, I need help. And actually this week, along in those that get the newsletter, I'm putting a thing from the Bible Project that talks about ask, what it means that God listens. Mm-hmm. And because that is a very big word, listen. It's a very Jewish word. And if you misunderstand that, you know, you won't get anywhere. But, okay.
Okay, so should we
Good
read?
story, Miss Lee.
All right, we're still...
Oh, wait a minute. We're out of time. We got to stop. No. That was a good joke, wasn't it? Anyway, it's like...
I don't know. I'm going to slap his fingers here in a minute. He's pushing the buttons too much.
We're now back to Life Christ Stereo. Where are we reading from?
We are reading John 14, 1 through 16 and 33.
And we've been going through this section for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks, because there's a lot in here.
Yeah.
All right.
We're in the last part of this section.
Yep. Jesus is speaking. Verily, verily, I say...
Okay, whoa. What does that mean?
Okay, pay attention. This is really important. It's truly true truth, so listen.
Verily, verily means pay attention. This is really important because it's truly true truth. In other words, what's truly true truth mean?
It means it's straight out of the Lord's mouth, I guess. And
it's
there's nothing,
always
it's always
true.
100%
This
true.
This isn't a relative. This isn't sometimes it'll be true, sometimes
this isn't. It's good for me, but it's not good for you.
No, this is always
for
true.
Everyone. It's
for everyone at all times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Verily, verily, I say to you, he who believes upon me, the works which I do, shall he do also.
Whoa! That's a big one. What are the works that Jesus did?
Well, he created the universe.
So we'll be creating stuff out of nothing?
No.
Maybe someday in
Not
in the heaven and earth. But see, that isn't now. Okay? See, in other words, it may be true in the future when we get to the new heaven, new earth, and we may be able to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems to be reserved for God to do that only, that he creates something out of nothing.
Yeah.
But God,
well, Jesus.
That's called ex nihilo in theological terms.
Jesus, I don't know. When everybody reads this, and I don't know if this is true or not, you think, well, he made wine out of water.
Okay, now what did he have? He started with something there.
Water.
He started with a substance,
Yeah.
a material substance called water. So he converted that, he manufactured that into wine. So he didn't create it out of nothing. And now, can people make wine out of water?
I guess if they believe that the Lord can do it through them.
Well, what did Jesus mix there? He mixed.
Oh, but you're saying physically, can we make it? Yeah, we can.
How do we do it?
You get wines and you smush them and you put them in a special barrel and you let them sit with some other things. I don't know how to make wine.
Well, first you got to have a garden.
Yeah.
And in the garden you grow grapes.
Vineyard.
And then you pick the grapes and you smash the grapes.
Yeah.
And then the grapes ferment.
Yeah.
And it becomes wine. So you mix your creativity with your labor into
your
God's resources.
Yeah.
Now, Jesus had, because it was the purpose.
Now, wait a minute. That's not a very dramatic way of thinking about it. That means you got to do it or you sweat your brow.
We have done it. Well, it is.
But you mean
that's
we
part
can't
of the
just go
no,
and it makes wine?
No.
Oh.
But here's what we can do. By mixing our creativity and our see, that's imagination. Imagination is part of creativity, but imagining without work is just a fantasy. Okay. By having creativity mixed with labor and resources. Now, have people created greater amounts of wine than Jesus did that day?
I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
These big wineries, they put out a lot of bottles of wine.
Because people have learned to mix their creativity with their labor into God's resources. Now, God can accelerate that, and that's why that's called a miracle. And miracles happen a lot, but the normal, if it's normal, God normally wants us to mix our creativity with our labor in God's resources.
I got a great idea.
You got give me. Too. She's giving me dirty looks, man.
Because I got an idea.
She's got something big to say.
Okay, I'm thinking the other thing people.
Oh, wait a minute. This is big.
It's not that great.
Oh, like the guy on the TV. It's huge.
You're making me laugh, and I sound silly when I laugh. I was thinking about the other thing people think about when you read this part of the verse. You'll do greater things, feeding the multitudes.
Okay, Jesus, that was another time.
Now, the thing I was thinking of, my multitude may be different than your multitude. My multitude may be 5 extra people for dinner I wasn't expecting.
Okay, that's a great example. Lee has this happen often because I drag people home. And Lee gets so frustrated because she panics. God is not going to supply her needs.
But here's what you do. You may only have 1 pound of ground beef, but you go to your pantry, and this is where being wise and frugal.
Imagination. Creativity.
You get things in your pantry that you know you can multiply to feed more than 1 people. Beans, rice, spaghetti, potatoes, basics things.
Oh, those
bread.
Carbs.
Yeah, those carbs, which are.
That's why poor people get fat, because they eat a lot of carbs.
But anyway, so you bring people home. You got a pound of spaghetti. And you go, what am I going to do? I got 5 more people, and all I was going to make was tacos for 2. Mm-hmm. Well, you start putting some beans in it, and you take some taco shells, some tortillas or rice, and you build it up, and you have a whole bowl full, instead of a single.
Are you making it into a taco salad?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Taco salad. So instead of us eating 4 tacos between us.
So you go out in the garden and you pick all this lettuce that you have.
And you build it up.
And put a lot more onion in.
And using your creativity, your resources, and your labor, you can make a big platter
multiply.
that looks beautiful.
You're
it multiplies
fruitful,
and it fills
multiplied, you're filling the need, you're feeding the 5,000.
Okay.
Now, again, Jesus did this in a very quick way.
Right.
Okay? And God can do that. And if necessary, we can.
Yeah.
But see, it's not... See, for instance, a good example. You remember in the wilderness, the people of Israel didn't have enough food. I mean, you got 1 million people walking through the desert. There's just not much out there.
Yeah.
So God supplied their needs. What did He give them?
I guess He gave them manna.
Manna, yeah. And
didn't He give them crickets too?
No, crickets were the curse.
So manna, okay, manna.
Manna, you can't eat crickets, but that's not
honey
usually.
And locust is what John the Baptist ate. Honey and locust.
But way off track.
Okay, manna. God gave them manna.
Manna was a really good thing, but they got tired of it.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's like when you eat the same thing every day.
It'd be like.
That's why Miss Lee doesn't realize I like diversity in my meals. Okay.
I don't realize that. Okay,
and
really
she's come to realize this. It's been a hard thing for her to learn to get, and she's now as a 70-year-old wife, she's getting it. Okay, it's good. She's good now, but I don't even like the same thing every day of the week. Like on Tuesday we do this, on Thursday we do this. I like it changed up. I like, I like to try new things. We aren't
going to go into where this is.
I like exploration, and Miss Lee is a little less liking of that. Well, she likes it if other people do it, but she doesn't like cleaning the pots and pans that come after it, and I understand that. But it's interesting how that, and I forgot, you're making so many faces.
Manna. We were talking about manna.
Oh, they got tired of the manna. And so God gave them quail. Okay? Quail would fly in, and they could eat quail. Quail is one of the best meats there are. It's sweet. It's awesome. They didn't even have to hunt. It just fly into the camp. But they still had to go out and pick up the quail, or net them, or however they catch them.
Whatever it was they were doing.
And they had to clean them.
Clean them and cook them.
And they had to cook them. So they had to mix their creativity with their labor into God's resources.
Yeah.
Even there, they murmured. And see, that's where the problem is. We tend to murmur, God's not performing any miracles for me. Well, are you using the miracle He's given you? What is the miracle God has given us? The basic miracle. Imagination. Creativity. These are amazing things that create miracles. And that's why first quit coveting other things, and that's a form of coveting, and utilize what you have. Pray for God to show you the things you have, because sometimes we don't realize we have them. Lee's writing. I don't know what she's writing.
Because I have to write something when we're done.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so greater works because I am going to the Father. Greater works than
you'll be doing
shall
it.
He do because I am going to the Father.
He's actually giving them a hint here. You're going to go do this stuff. Now, the apostles did amazing miracles, and it was a sign. The sign of the apostles is that they could do signs and wonders. Very important. Mm-hmm. But it isn't the sign of all believers. And this is where groups get into this signs and wonders thing. And you know what it does? It gets them focused on the material things. Because signs and wonders are basically materialistic. They want to see material things done different. Well, God has given us a formula to change the material world. Creativity, labor, resources. But, we want magic. We want the magic stuff.
Well, I was going to say, I think that's more what it is. They want to see a show.
That's part of it.
Rather
and
than
that's why Jesus, when people would begin to follow Him around, like one time they followed Him all, He had multitudes following. He fed them. He performed magic. It wasn't magic for Jesus. It was he was a miracle.
Yeah.
But they like the magic of it.
They liked seeing it.
Ooh, we want to get the ability to do that. We want that magic stuff. So Jesus got in a boat, went to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, and guess what? They followed Him.
I know it. They followed Him.
Why? And you can get a lot of people to follow you if you pretend you're a magician.
Yeah.
And that's why the Sign and Wonders movement are a bunch of pretending they're magicians. And it's fake. Just like there's fake news, there's fake Christianity. I have yet to see any of these things be substantiated. It's always in the shadows, little weird things.
Yeah.
And you know, God can do it. It's not, if it's necessary. But He's given us imagination. He's given us creativity. And He's given us labor. And those are the normal tools we use. And what's interesting when you study the history of Christianity, by applying these things, it has created amazing magic. Oh, I'm sorry, miracles, like jet planes that fly across the United States in 3 hours. And now they're about to come out with a jet plane that flies across the Atlantic in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I just read an article today that this new supersonic jet passenger jet they're about to come out with is going to make London to New York a day trip. That was the way they put it. Well, you know what's interesting? That is God's purpose. Now, how do I know that's God's purpose?
Does He talk about airplanes in the Bible?
Kind of not.
But kind of yes.
Oh, really? How?
Going to and fro.
Oh, that was one of the prophecies of Daniel. In the last days, there will be 2 things that happen that we'll see. It's near the end of the age. What were the 2 things?
I'm wanting to say marrying. No?
Well, no, that's a different issue.
Okay,
of the
well, I'm not sure then.
Is you said the first one?
Going to and fro.
They will be traveling to and fro.
Uh-huh.
Travel will greatly increase.
Yeah.
And the other thing, knowledge will greatly increase.
Oh.
Well, has
Google?
knowledge increased?
Google?
Well,
internet?
how about this internet superhighway?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, Lee and I used to write and do research on articles and writing books, and we would have to go to the library for days, if not weeks. And
we had a huge library in our house,
we had a
too.
big library too, but I mean, not everything could be in
No.
it. And now, how many books do you have in your phone?
In my Kindle?
In your player, whatever it is?
Oh, probably 500.
500 books.
You know how big that
And those are not important books. They're just
No,
the
they're
books
just
she
stuff
likes
I
to
read, cooking
read.
books and
That's the
novels
stuff.
and-
She doesn't read important stuff. She just reads the novels. I'm kidding. It's important to her. And there's nothing wrong with it. But she's giving me that dirty look. I got to fix this. How do I fix this, Miss Lou?
Just keep going.
So the thing is, though, we have the ability to increase. Knowledge is so increased, and that's why we need to utilize the internet. Because I discovered articles that used to take us months to write. I discovered a web page that we're going to be featuring in our Rod and Reporter stuff that gives you all the evidences of creation, like dinosaurs and ape men and dinosaur tracks and geologic column and all the answers of the geometric dating, all the things we used to take years to develop.
Okay, I remember.
I can push a button, and in 3 minutes you can listen to this as a beautiful video.
You sent me a link to cooking stuff, and it's got like charts of cooking things, all the things you could do, and I just looked at one page, and it had like 50 things.
Wasn't that cool? I saw you reposted it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a wealth of information. It's little things like, I don't even know. I didn't look at it that closely, but let's say, how long do you boil an egg? There's all these little pieces of information that you can just look at these charts in like the snap of a finger.
Just to speak of that, you need to for your and I'll give you a little plug here for your Food Adventure webpage. You need to download each one of those charts to your computer, and then you just post each one of those charts as an individual thing.
Good.
Because what most people won't do, they won't
go
look
through everything.
Because they're not. See, this generation has they don't want to research.
Right.
But if you would take that and break it into 100 pieces, and this is a secret to Christian evangelism, and particularly citizenship, to be an ambassador for Christ and to be a citizen in our culture, we don't have to go always out on the street and just pound people. Because we have the internet superhighway, if we'll take little pieces and chip, and we have our friends on Facebook, and I have 2,000 or 3,000, I don't know what it is, Lee has 1,000 or so, and we chip, and they multiply it. And if they do it, they get to their 200 or 300, it multiplies. And that's what you do. Jesus said, be fruitful and multiply. That's why the internet allows us to do greater than Jesus did. Because his purpose in coming was to do what? To perform miracles? To show signs? Was his purpose signs and wonders?
No, I answered. You talked over me.
Well, that's because I'm talking. You were talking under me.
Glorify God.
What did you say?
Glorify the Father.
Say it loud.
Glorify the Father.
Okay, his purpose was even more specific. To seek and to save that which was lost. And what's lost? Think about what's lost. People are lost.
People are lost.
The
earth is lost.
The earth is kind of lost too.
The animals are lost.
Is he going to redeem the earth?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the new heaven and new earth. See, and the animals, the plants, everything's kind of lost. It's degenerating. It's wearing out.
That's why.
But doesn't mean it's useless. Like I am. Lee, this is important. I got to say this. I'm 70 years old. Many people 70-year-old feel useless. I do not feel useless. You know why? Because I can have the internet superhighway. I don't have to travel as much. Although, if I had a car that would go more than 3 miles, which mine won't, I could do a lot more. I could expand. My friend called me this morning and said, Dan, you need a car to get around. I mean, you have so much to say, and you need to be out here saying it. I said, well, yeah. He said, well, you need to get a loan. I said, no, I don't want to do that. I just need a car.
So here's what we'll do. We'll just put this plug into anybody and everybody that listens to us. Please pray that the Lord will provide us with a car.
No,
now,
a
Dan
Prius.
wants a Prius.
No, it's the Lord wants us to have, because we can actually, then as we travel, we could call up friends and we could say, could we just sleep in your driveway for the night? See, they don't even have to have a bedroom. Like here, I have a problem. I don't have enough room. But if somebody had a Prius, they can park in my yard and they can sleep in the Prius. And the Prius is an awesome camper. And it also, one of the other reason it's good, it's really good because it's a generator. It is the best generator you can buy, and I live in an RV. And sometimes the power goes out. So I sold my RV because it was not used very often.
No, your generator.
My generator. I sold my generator. Because it's not used very often. But if I have a Prius, it's there. I plug in and I got power to my freezer.
Actually, we sold our generator to repair this car majorly time before.
That's right, we did.
That's why
we sold the generator so we could keep having a car. Well, what we should have done, we didn't understand, we didn't learn. But see, that's where we can do greater.
So I'm just asking everyone who listens to us to please pray that the Lord will help us in some way.
Or give us imagination and creativity that allows us to get
a
there.
Prius. Yeah. All right, so now let's go on with our reading. And whatever you may ask in my name, I will do.
So I can ask Jesus, is this what this is saying? I could ask Jesus that I could have 25 wives and a few concubines.
No.
Why not? He said anything. You should see the look I'm getting. Why not? Anything.
Ask for good things that will help you further the kingdom of God.
You stop reading too quickly.
Well, usually you interrupt me. And whatever you may ask in my name, I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son.
That's the qualification. Our purpose is not the stuff. Our purpose is not the material signs and wonders. Our purpose is the great commandment, Jesus said, to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and glorify God, and love your neighbor as yourself. That's what we do as citizens.
Okay, and to glorify, the Father may be glorified.
In the Son.
And that's why we laugh and we joke, but really that's why we're praying for a Prius.
That's right. Why?
Because
you're making my argument here. Go for it.
Because it gets great gas mileage.
50 miles to the gallon up to 65.
Which means we can go a lot of places.
Now, do we just want to go vacation?
No, we want to be able to go to places to teach people, to minister to people.
We want to be able to go
ways.
to these Christian schools and little churches that can't afford it and give them a course on these things.
Right.
Yeah.
And it, so it gets good mileage. one of our big drawbacks was we kept hearing about the batteries going out. They cost $5,000.
That was why we were afraid of it. Everybody said, the batteries.
I'm trying to make this quicker. And
no, you don't have to.
And Dan's found a way where you can get a company, actually there's one that's not that far away from us.
They're all over the country,
that will come and replace your battery
in a Prius
for $500.
Yeah.
So that goes from $5,000
and that's
to
installed, and that is guaranteed for 6 months to a year, depending on
60,000 miles, whatever. Yeah. So that's another thing. So it's a good working machine.
Yeah.
There are people that have had them for a number of years are selling them to get more updated models, not because they hate
because they do more.
They want them to do more. So we've been looking at this.
And we're not getting one to save the earth.
No.
Well, why not?
Well, because
shouldn't we save the earth?
Lord's. No. No.
Aren't we supposed to have the purpose of saving the earth? Isn't that stewardship to save the earth?
We govern it.
Oh, we're to subdue the earth. But saving the earth is usually fitting into its natural order. No, we're to rule over it and use the stuff. And not abuse it. That's why you got to be frugal and fruitful. Yeah. And see, we are not getting this to be earth savers.
Right.
We're getting this to be God glorifiers.
Yeah.
So we can be more fruitful here on the earth as Christian faith missionaries.
And it comes down to the littlest things of being able to go to the grocery store. As it is right now, we have to take several empty milk jugs filled with water so we can replenish the water in our car.
It's a 3-mile radius. We can go 3 miles before it empties out.
Before we go to the store, and we have to fill it to get home. So it's fruitful of our time also.
Well, yeah, and the fumes are not good for my lungs. It's degenerating quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. We've been praying for this for a long time. We ask you to pray and pray with wisdom, because we could just take a gift that would, for $3,000, I can get a basic used Prius that'll work for me and give me a 500-mile radius. Or if somebody just wanted to give us a new one, which they're right. That, greater than these, that'd be wonderful. I'm not going to get a loan to do it. If somebody wanted to do that, I would have a 5,000. Well, maybe, I could go to South America in it and camp out. I probably won't.
I don't think you'd want to camp out.
I probably
I'm not sure
won't.
I'd go
but I could. I could do that. Yeah.
You could. All right. So anyway, we're just asking you to pray about this for us. We ask that in the name of Jesus. We do. And the Lord goes on to say, I'm going to read this whole sentence all together now. Whatever you may ask in my name, I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son.
And those are the qualifications. The Father is glorified. So, in other words, I can't just pray for wives and concubines?
If you ask anything in my name, I will do it.
Okay, that's not good.
If you ask anything in my name, I will do it.
So he'll do anything?
No, anything that glorifies God. You're being
if I'm a single guy, I can't just pray for a hooker? Well, I've had people that have tried to persuade me of this. I can have anything.
No. Anything that's good.
I'm trying to be silly.
Yeah, but...
You're not...
Yeah. I'm not laughing.
It's a funny. I'm trying to get through to the people I'm talking to, not you, because I know you know this. The idea is absurd that I can have any material, and the idea is absurd.
Yeah, because then I can ask, kill that guy over there. I don't like how he looks.
Oh, I don't like that guy. Kill him, Lord.
In the name of Jesus, kill him.
In the name of Jesus, yeah. That's a good one. Can you think of any others? Those are not things that God will do greater.
Now,
has God killed people? Has God killed people?
Yes, He has.
Oh, yeah. When they sin, He's killed whole 100 and something thousands.
Lord, I'm going to walk in that jewelry store and pick up a $500,000 diamond, and I want you to make everybody just let me walk out.
They'll be blind, and I'll have.
Yeah.
See, that is what is known as the prosperity gospel, that you should be prosperous. Not true. It's a big lie. It is based on giving power to a few people and making a few people rich. God wants everybody to be multiplying.
Here's a good one. Lord, I need a nicer house in the best neighborhood so everyone will know and look at me and they'll love God.
That's right. So, you see, they'll see how rich I am and they'll want to be Christians. No. Did all those people want to be Christians that got the food and fed the 5,000?
Nope.
No, because right after that he says, you got to eat of my flesh and drink of my blood. And they went away.
Now, that is not to say that the Lord cannot be glorified by someone who
That's
has
right.
a big home.
That's not a bad thing.
And wears diamonds and whatever.
It's up to.
But that should not be your goal.
Jesus said, it will be given to you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these other things will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken up, and running over. That's different than name it and claim it. That's different than prosperity gospel. That's different than signs and wonders. That is a false idea. And I don't know how I can be more clear. And if you don't want to listen to this anymore, you need to realize that is evil. It is voodoo. It is witchcraft. It is wicked and lazy because you won't take your creativity,
resources, and labor
and mix them. And that takes time.
Yes.
And it takes work.
Sometimes the sweat of your brow.
We're out of time, Miss Lee. You talk way too much. Are we into the verse?
That's the end.
Well, it has been so wonderful. We would like you to come back and visit us again next week. But in between now and then, you could go to oursundayclass.simplesite.com and you could sign up for a newsletter, or you can go to the roddenreporter.com and you can get our Rodden Reporter stuff, or you can send us an email at danrodden.gmail.com and I'll be happy to get back with you. And if you want to donate one of these things, I can give you a link so you can do it.